The suburbs, a picture of tranquility, a place where families thrive and the American dream is alive. Lush lawns and manicured hedges, every house a testament to hard work and pride. Children playing under the watchful eyes of neighbours, laughter echoing through the streets, a sense of community and safety. But even in paradise, darkness can lurk, shadows that hide in plain sight, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. On Charlotte Street, a monster hid in plain sight. A street like any other, where the unimaginable became reality. His name was Bob Berdella, and his home was a chamber of unspeakable horrors, a place where nightmares were born. Behind the mundane facade, a nightmare unfolded, curtains drawn tight, hiding the terror within. Berdella, a seemingly ordinary man, harbored a sinister secret, a facade of normalcy masking a heart of darkness. He was a serial killer, his victims lured into his home under false pretenses. Trust betrayed in the most horrific way. Their fates were far from ordinary. Behind locked doors, their cries for help went unheard. They were subjected to unimaginable horrors, their cries for help swallowed by the walls of Berdella's house, a place where evil thrived, hidden in the heart of suburbia. What transforms a man into a monster? Bob Berdella's descent into darkness remains a chilling enigma. Born in 1949, he was an unremarkable child, quiet and withdrawn. As he grew, he struggled to connect with others. Loneliness became his constant companion. In his teenage years, Berdella developed a fascination with control and manipulation. He experimented with animal torture, a disturbing foreshadowing of the horrors to come. His adult life was marked by isolation and a string of failed relationships. He retreated further into himself, his dark fantasies festering. Berdella preyed on the vulnerable young men on the fringes of society. He frequented gay bars and clubs, using charm and promises of money or drugs to lure his victims back to his house. He presented himself as a friend, a confidant. He offered them shelter, a listening ear, a sense of belonging they desperately craved. But his kindness was a facade, a carefully constructed trap. Once inside his home, the true nature of his intentions became horrifyingly clear. The young men, initially relieved to have found a friend, soon realized the terrible mistake they had made. Berdella's home was a meticulously crafted torture chamber. The basement, dark and damp, became a dungeon. Heavy chains hung from the ceiling, restraints lined the walls. The air was thick with the stench of fear and suffering. Here, Berdella indulged his darkest desires. He subjected his victims to unimaginable horrors. Sleep deprivation, starvation, beatings and sexual abuse were commonplace. He experimented on them with drugs, meticulously recording their reactions in a twisted scientific journal. Section 5. A macabre record. Berdella was meticulous in documenting his crimes. He didn't just jot down a few notes, he created an extensive and horrifying record of his actions. Each entry was filled with a level of detail that was both shocking and disturbing. He kept detailed notes on each victim, chronicling the torture he inflicted and their reactions. These weren't just casual observations. They were methodical and precise, almost clinical in their execution. He photographed their broken bodies, capturing their agony in chilling detail. The photographs were not just for his own sick pleasure, they served as a visual record of his cruelty, a way to relive the torment he inflicted. These notebooks and photographs would later become key pieces of evidence, a testament to his depravity. They provided a window into the mind of a man who took meticulous care in documenting every aspect of his horrific acts. The level of detail in his records was shocking. He noted everything from the exact times and dates of his actions to the specific methods he used to inflict pain. He noted the drugs he administered, carefully recording the dosages and their effects on his victims. This wasn't just a passing interest, it was a calculated effort to understand and control every aspect of their suffering. The duration of the torture sessions, meticulously tracking how long each session lasted and the intervals between them. Time was another tool in his arsenal of terror, and the physical and psychological responses of his victims. He was particularly interested in their reactions, noting every scream, every plea for mercy, and every moment of despair. It was as if he was conducting a gruesome experiment, meticulously recording data as if he were a scientist in a lab. His victims nothing more than subjects to be manipulated and observed. In his twisted mind, they were not human beings but mere objects of study, their suffering a means to an end. Section 6. A desperate escape. In April 1988, one of Berdella's victims, a young man named Christopher Bryson, managed a desperate escape. Naked and terrified, wearing only a dog collar and leash, he jumped from a second-story window. He ran for his life, the horrors he endured etched onto his soul. Bryson's escape shattered the illusion of normalcy surrounding Berdella's house. He stumbled into the street, his cries for help finally heard by a world oblivious to the horrors that had unfolded behind closed doors. His story, though harrowing, offered a glimmer of hope in the darkness. Section 7. Justice at last. The police, alerted by Bryson's escape and his horrifying account, obtained a search warrant for Berdella's home. What they found inside sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. The house was a charnel house filled with evidence of Berdella's gruesome crimes. Berdella was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder, sodomy and assault. He confessed to killing 6 young men, their bodies buried in his yard or disposed of in the trash. His trial was a media sensation, the details of his crimes shocking the nation. Section 8. The Shadow of Berdella. Berdella was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He died in prison in 1992, succumbing to a heart attack at the age of 43. His death brought little solace to the families of his victims. They were left to grapple with the unimaginable loss and the knowledge that their loved ones had endured unspeakable suffering. The house on Charlotte Street stood as a chilling reminder of the horrors that had transpired within its walls. It was eventually demolished, but the memory of Berdella's crimes continued to haunt the community. Section 9. Legacy of a Monster. The case of Bob Berdella, the Kansas City butcher, remains a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most ordinary-seeming individuals. Berdella, who appeared to be a mild-mannered, unassuming man, harbored a sinister secret life that shocked the nation. His outward appearance gave no hint of the horrors he was capable of, making his eventual unmasking all the more terrifying. His crimes, fueled by a toxic mix of sadism, a lust for power, and a profound disconnect from humanity, left an indelible mark on those who investigated the case, the families of the victims, and the city of Kansas City itself. Investigators who delved into Berdella's life were confronted with a level of cruelty and inhumanity that was almost beyond comprehension. The families of his victims were left to grapple with an unimaginable grief, their lives forever altered by his heinous acts. The legacy of Bob Berdella is a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity, a stark reminder that monsters can often hide in plain sight, their true nature concealed behind a facade of normalcy. His story serves as a grim illustration of how evil can wear a mask of ordinariness, making it all the more difficult to detect. The impact of his actions continues to resonate, a dark chapter in the history of Kansas City that will never be forgotten. The case serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder to be vigilant and to never take our safety for granted. It underscores the importance of community awareness and the need to look out for one another. In the wake of Berdella's crimes, the community of Kansas City came together, united in their resolve to prevent such atrocities from happening again. This case is a powerful reminder that while we may never fully understand the depths of human evil, we can strive to protect ourselves and our loved ones through vigilance and solidarity.